Hello everyone, good afternoon and welcome to today's market color recap session. It is good to have every one of you here. My name is Sabi Abi and I'm basically going to be looking at the asset classes we looked at this morning and seeing if they've played out or what price has done around the levels we mapped out so far. Shortly after which, my colleague is going to come and do a recap on indices. So I'll be starting off with commodity currencies, and those are AUD, USD, NZD, USD, and USD CAD. Then we'll look at US 13 as 100 and any other asset class being traded today by my colleague. Okay, so let us proceed. I'm going to be starting with AUD USD. You see the zones we had marked out still very much on the charts. You go on M1 time frame, you'd see that AUD USD but so much first broke above the zones, but has been ranging for a while. So it's been ranging, doing all of this. They gave us a breakout, but then returned into that range. Remember, these were zones we're looking out for to see what price would do, if it would give us a temporal sell-off into the next support level. The first one being our trend, especially on the M5 time frame, which happens to be the indicator here. So we're saying that we're going to see a break and a retest below these zones, and then see a final move downward first before we see a buy resumption. Right, and what price is doing right now, it is still ranging around that level. I'm thinking this is what would happen. We may see AUD USD sell-off from where it currently is. It's going to sell into this zone first, and if it's able to break below this zone, we know where it's going to head next. It's going to head to the support, the second support zone that we had marked out. You'd also see that on the M5 time frame, right where we're looking at price trading into our indicator, there's also a previous resistance around that zone, which could serve as a current resistance turn support, right? So if price trades in here, hits this and this holds, we would see AUD USD buy, and when it buys back, takes out all of these zones, then we will be seeing buy continuation of this asset class all the way. You'll be seeing a buy continuation of this asset class all the way into somewhere around this level. That's around 0.65666. So for this, I'm still watching to see what price does. We're expecting temporal sell-offs. For NZD USD, now, on the M5, because this is a recap, if you missed this morning's session, please go ahead and watch them on our YouTube channel, Value Flow Trading. Just search Value Flow Trading and check under the live session. You'll see the detailed breakdown. Now, NZD USD on the M5 time frame, what has it done so far? Price sold back into this indicator. Remember, we drew out these zones saying that they're going to serve as either resistance or support. So it bought into this level, which is our 1 hour point of interest. It didn't tap into it as would have preferred before it sold back into this pullback region, right? But it's still breaking structure downward. So is it possible to say NZD USD sell all the way into the support level first before we see a buy resumption or even a sell continuation, right? Remember this morning for NZD USD, we're 50-50 waiting to see what price would do, but expecting the sales to happen first and then coming here. We're now saying that either price takes out the zone to downside, continue selling, or to find support and start to buy. So now that price is still doing this, it is currently at the pullback region. I think price is going to buy back into the trend based off the number of times we've seen this indicator act. We could see something like this, which is about 28 pips thereabouts. If buy back into the zone and then give us a final move downward. If price happens to break below the zone, then we'll see sell continuations. If not, and this support level holds, we'll see price start to buy, eventually take out these levels and keep on buying. And then finally for USD CAD on the M5 time frame as well. Remember, we stated this morning that we're looking at USD CAD selling from where it was at the time all the way into our trend. So it sold but didn't get all the way into the trend, and now it looks like it has broken above this indicator, but there's still a resistance right above it. So if this resistance holds, you would see that sell push all the way downward. But if this zone gets broken, the next support level is what we'll be targeting, and if they will get broken to the upside, they will be looking to buy USD CAD. If not, we're looking at sell-offs of this into the zones. And if these zones get violated or they hold as support, then we're seeing buys. So that's basically it for commodity currencies. Once again, you can simply watch the detailed breakdown of this morning's session on the YouTube page to catch up on all that was missed. All right, if you have any questions, let me know, please, so that I can answer them before we go into looking at indices and what they've done so far. All right, perfect. Thank you so much for joining. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in less than 1 minute to wrap up this session. Cheers, progress.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the market color session. We'll be looking at the US market this afternoon, meaning the US 30, NAS 100, and also S&P 500, and seeing how those markets are faring. And then we would now also want to look at the position we shared this morning. All right, I believe you can see my screen here. So earlier this morning, we shared these positions that the market is very, very much bullish, right? We're still very much bullish overall in sense of what we want to see in this market. But then minor structure has been changing. And for that reason, want to consider some levels from where we will now buy, right? This morning, we did analysis, and then even one of us, that's the attendee, right, gave this setup on for the sell, right, to the downside, which market partly started selling off, but then because, pressure, I believe is the overall direction, which is fundamental, that is driving this market, that is making it to look as though it's still stalling, right? And we've not seen that sell yet, right? This setup is still very, very much valid. Let me put it on the 1 hour time frame. Very, very much valid. So, okay, which is what we have a fair value gap above here. We have an order block, which also aligns with the 4 hour candlestick, right? For that 4 hour order block, there was a sweep of this zone, a break to the upside, and we are waiting for price to retest this for it to start pushing to the upside, right? On S&P 500, we have the same thing. However, price have retested S&P 500 and then it's pushing to the upside, right? We're waiting for this kind of rally also on US 100, and that will now give us, that drive, because we know that the market is going to eventually buy. It's like the correlation analysis we did last week that we're able to make money from US 30. Now it's on US 100, and we expect that that should also, play out, right? On US 30, nothing has really happened so far from where we marked out in the morning. We are still waiting for all of this. We said the market is really, really bullish from everything from fundamentals suggests that we still retain our bullish bias. However, because we have technical analysis giving us a break of structure to the downside, we want to wait for that correction to happen properly before we now start hammering on our bullish position or looking for bullish setup, watching out for buys in the market, right? Because fundamental can be very bullish, whereas your technicals is giving you bearish setup. You don't want to be adamant and say, I'm going to stick with it. You have to be flexible and then know when to enter the market, right? When you can time the market. You can see what happened last week, how we were able to make some good money off last week trade. So we want to have such kind of precision this week also, so that we don't rush and then get ourselves or our hands burnt in the market. All right, that being said, that's just a recap of what we have this morning for US 30, or what we have this afternoon. Beg your pardon. What we have for US 30 this morning and this afternoon is we want price to break above here, right? And then give us a retest for it to continue to the upside. That's the one. And I mentioned in the morning that this is predicated on, this is like an early entry, right? Because price as well come to break this and then go up, tap into this fair value gap, start selling to the downside, right? So we have this range, this first one and this one. It's a range of price that we are working with today. It can get very, very funny. Especially with this price action I'm seeing, a price will just tap into one of these fair value gap or another block, and then we see that sharp drop to the downside, and then that's just continues, right? So we want to see a proper break to the ups or to the downside before we start, taking trades in this market. That being said, that's just what we have for today. And also on S&P 500, no, we don't have any trade set up on S&P 500. We're using S&P 500 as correlation for US 100, right? And then price takes out this liquidity, taps into this zone, and we'll continue our bullish movement to the upside. I'm seeing a question in the chat box from Innocent or there. Please, GBP, AUD, GBP CAD that we are looking at. I don't think anybody has looked at GBP AUD or GBP CAD today, either in the morning or even now, right? I don't think so. Probably it's another pair you're talking about, you're trying to refer to, but it's not GBP AUD or GBP CAD. No, not me, not anyone. All we've looked at today is AUD, this thing, AUD and NAS, right? You said you saw it on the Telegram chat. All right, the Telegram chat is our general community. A lot of people post their trade ideas there, and we don't restrict people because we want to even encourage that they do that, right? So, but I think one of the things we'll be doing going forward is to, tell people to explain the idea behind their trade setup, because that will now further help people that want to take the signal make decisions for themselves, right? So I don't know the setup you're talking about. I wasn't the one that gave it. Probably you can just send a message to the group also for the person that sent the setup to give like an explanation to what they said, and then you are now able to make sense of it, right? But from what we have here, I really, really don't know what's going on in that angle. I rarely trade. Not really. I trade GBP CAD and GBP AUD, but I'm not looking at it today, right? I'm not looking at it today. All right. Thank you so much. Tomorrow's session continues by 8:30 in the morning and then 2 p.m. like we have in the afternoon. Tomorrow's session will be mind-blowing. It's more on the dollar index for those that trade everything related to dollar, everything related to yen, everything related to precious metal. Tomorrow is for you, so don't miss out on it, especially London session, 8:30 in the morning, so you can get head start for what to trade in the day. All right, that being said, thank you so much for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow. I wish you profitable trading. Ensure you use proper risk management. Don't over leverage. If it's not obvious in the market, it is dubious. Don't take it. Not also taking a position in the market is actually a position, right? So I wish everybody is safe trading. Cheers and God bless, guys.